Welcome to True Jamaica Buzz, news and entertainment with a buzz. So the next thing that is popping in the news based on the picture that you see on the screen, that is of Miss Jamaica 2017. Her name is Davina Bennett. Based on some unfortunate news coming out of New York, it is said that Mrs. Bennett was performing on a catwalk, and as soon as she left the event, she was crossing the street when she was hit by a vehicle. She was rushed to Mount Sinai Hospital, where she is presently in stable condition. Now, people like me say, don't know the severities of her wound, whether she was hit on her leg or hand or whatever part of her body was broken or severely damaged. You and I know that this is not good, especially when you are a model, especially when you have to keep in a tip-top shape, especially when you have to actually walk the catwalk. So we hope that she's in the best of physical shape, even though she is stable, because at the end of the day, person are not going to have any sorts of sympathy and say, yes, this is Davina, she was beautiful and she had style and strut across the catwalk. If she's not able to do it, then it is going to impede her way of making a living for herself and family. So we should hope that she's as good as possible and hope that she recovers 100% or as close as possible, point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news based on the pictures that you see on the screen as I speak, it is confirmed that 14 imitation firearms were seized by the JSAF police. A businessman and his accomplice are presently in custody. Now, people, with all the crime and violence that is going on in Jamaica, and yes, while it is an imitation firearm, you have to know the intent of those persons that have it. Whether their intention was to rent these imitation firepiece to dancehall artists that are doing music video. Whatever the intent was, the intent is not good, because if that gun or those guns get in the hands of wrong persons, then it could be used with criminal intention. And even if it was not, it is still criminal, because based on the rules and law that I presently know, nobody is supposed to be in a possession of any of those. It is banned in Jamaica. And if it is used in a music video, you have to get the proper authorization, and I doubt that based on the climate or culture in Jamaica with crime and violence as it pertains to guns, being responsible for over 85% of all crimes, including murder, then I doubt that the police would issue any sorts of permit. So people, the good thing is that the police found and seized these rifles, and at least 2 persons are now in the custody of the police. Hopefully they will get the full brunt of the law. Point blank and period.
Yo, parenting really changed, Big old September 2025. 30 grand clocks per foot, 20 grand bag in a hand. The bag, no book. The big old 20 grand bag empty. How the youth them supposed to learn? What teacher supposed to do? What principal supposed to do? What dean of discipline supposed to do? What student counselor supposed to do? See him, he picked me up on 70 grand worth of uniform, watch, ring, shoes, bag, and not even 700 worth of book. Yo, the nation get fucking up.
Now, the next thing that is popping in the news, there's a thing that the dancehall named style over fashion or fashion over style. Well, it seems as if in Jamaica it is fashion over learning. It is style and profiling before education. We know that the police, they are given basket for carry water, and even worse when it comes to teachers in the school. They have to deal with the most unruly, undisciplined, indisciplined, dysfunctional picnic that are sent from their home by their loose parents, mama and papa. And then the teacher have to deal with them, the dean of discipline, the principal, and then other decent children. There's a teacher that is going to give you her experience of a student that she had that came to school dapper down, meaning Clarks, meaning the latest fashion bag. However, he did not have no school book in his bag. And when the teacher asks, where's your school bag? You have an expensive Clark, you have an expensive school bag, but you don't even have an exercise book, not even a leaf in your bag. Only a next bag with all sorts of foolishness. So people, I want you to take a listen, take a look to exactly what this teacher has to say, and then I give my piece.
Let's be real. Spray ground bag, Clark's, yet no book. Second day of school. How would you deal with the situation? You go to a class, you're there teaching, notes should be taken, and when you look, this child has no book. I asked the child to open their bag, and when they opened the bag, there was another bag stuffed inside that bag, and no book. This same child says, "Oh, my mother they're foreign, father they're foreign, and everything." What exactly are our priorities as parents? That your child could feel that it is okay for him to come at school looking all dapper, but not even a pencil or a book ready for school. Interesting.
Now, people, truth and the fact is that Jamaica is a hard place. Sometimes the parents, mother and father have to leave and go look that food. So therefore, they make a sacrifice. However, what they also sacrifice is the person that you leave your child with. And even sometimes these children don't listen to their guardian. So I'm not going to even blame that person because I don't really know the circumstances. However, when a student goes to school and look like a cha-cha boy, look like him not come to school, him come for go a dance hall or him come for profile like him as some sorts of playboy or something. He has zero intentions of learning anything because if you come at the people in place with your two long hand or no school book, just a bag or two bags as a matter of fact. So instead of having one bag and one book or a school book, an exercise book at least, him have two bags, clocks, and then him look dapper down. So therefore, he has no intentions of learning. And when he was asked, how comes you don't have a school book which costs way, way less than the bag that he had on and way, way less than the class that he had on? In parents, them they are foreign. That is his excuse. Well, that should make it even better because if them they are foreign and them can't send you back money for buy a school book, a notebook, or an exercise book, or whatever it is, that means that it is better them did stay at Jamaica because how bad could they have been doing if them can't afford to send you with a school with a little book or whatever the case is. But people, I just show you the dysfunctionality that exists in the school and what these teachers have to deal with these students, which are more like gunmen or gangsters in a training. So people, the moral of the story is that stories like this just tell you why we see society is the way that it is and why there's so much criminality because the priority and the focus is on the wrong thing. It is all about vanity. It is not about preparing yourself for the future. And like them say, he who fails to prepare prepares to fail. And whenever you fail in the schoolyard, meaning educational wise, your options are less out there. It will drive you, or it will be the option that you're going to resort to criminality. And criminality leads to a couple of places, either the big yard or the graveyard, make you a menace to society. And menaces to society end up in places that most persons don't want to go. Point blank and period. This one is called My Advice to the Police Officers in Jamaica. Whenever you get any sorts of thief and catch them with their hand in the cookie jar, catch them on the spot, and then they decide that they want to take you on in a shootout, just make sure that you riddle the vehicle that they're in and riddle the body very, very good. Because these criminal elements are getting more and more brazen. So whether it is predial thief, car thief, people who grab people bag, whatever the case is, they should be taken out on these spots. I am speaking about an incident that took place in a place known as Malvern, that is in Southampton, that is in St. Elizabeth, where it is said that an Axio motor vehicle that was prowling the area, 4 cars, buck up on a man that owned a Voxy van. They then went to the man's premises. So when the rightful owner of the vehicle heard the ramblings outside, he decided that he wants to go outside and investigate. When he went outside, those criminal elements started to fire shot, at least one shot at him. They then left with his vehicle. I guess he notified the police. The police was on the scene, intercepted the vehicle along with the Axio motor vehicle that was the getaway driver. Well, not really the getaway driver, the car that transported these criminal elements. Based on the police report, it is said that there was a running or chasing gun battle. After the smoke cleared, one man, Mark Allen, was seen suffering from gunshot wounds. He also had a tool with him. He was turkey rushed to the hospital. However, too late is the call. I am going to let you hear from the police officer, and then I am going to let you hear from the victim, vice versa, and then I am going to give my piece.
I was awake by the engine sound of the bus. So jump out of bed, run outside. When we come outside, move towards the vehicle. The person who was still in the vehicle fired 2 shots at me. I see 7 years by the bus staying over.
During the pursuit, armed men fired at the police. The Voxy crashed in the Southampton area. Several men alighted and fired at the police. The police took evasive action and returned the fire. It must be noted that this is the 3rd vehicle that has been reported stolen in the Malvern space over the last several weeks. All 3 vehicles have been recovered. I want to assure the citizens of Malvern and surrounding communities and by extension parish that the police will continue our efforts to ensure that those who are committing criminal activities are brought to justice. At this time, the police are still in the area searching for the additional men who ran from the Voxy and the Toyota Axio. And so we appeal to anyone in this community who may see any strange person moving about to alert the police at 119 or the nearest police station.
Now, people, at the start of this video, I said, whenever the police intercept any sorts of criminal, catch them in the act. Worse, when they decide that they want to put up a resistance, enter into a shootout or a gun battle with the police should take them out on the spot. Because we've seen of lately, yes, these predial thief, whether a goat, sheep, or cow, when them go at the people and place them usually just type the people and animal and then leave with it. But of lately, we see that these persons that are extortionists and known gunmen are now getting into the predial business. So whenever they go to their victim's house and them thief the people and thing, they would then make sure that them have gun just in case the owners of those livestock put up any sorts of resistance. Such is the case as it pertains to this car thief, which is a notorious car thief. So the moral of the story is that he got exactly what he was looking for. Whenever you go to people's place and you violate them or violate their property, whatever you get, you deserve it, justifiably so. Point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news is based off an incident, an actual murder that took place in a place known as Camden. Camden, that is in New Jersey, United States, of course. Whenever you're getting married, they're always telling you, make sure that you're compatible with your partner, whether a man and his wife or a wife and her husband. However, they mean in a positive way. There's also a next saying that goes something like this: a family that prays together stays together. Well, people, in this case, it seems as if this family that kills together stays together. I am speaking about a man known as Everton Thomas, 41-year-old, his wife, Sherry, and then their son, 21-year-old, his name is Deshaun. It is said that they are the suspects in the takeaway of a man, Mr. Miller, their friend. Based on the family of Mr. Miller left his house, told his family that may I go by Eva or Thomas house, Everton Thomas, that is, to go play a card, play a domino, whatever the case is. It is said that after he left his house, he did not show up back. Co-workers, wife, family members became very concerned because he had told them exactly where he was going to go. It is said that the police, upon getting this information, did an inquiry or an investigation, and they went by the house of the Thomases. However, the Thomases claimed that he was there, yes, he played cards, and then he had left. After requesting video footage from that house, the police realized that there were some inconsistencies in the statements or what the Thomas family said. When they checked the surveillance camera and the audio, they realized that they had heard the time frame that Mr. Miller was supposed to be there. They heard a loud explosion. They also saw footage of Mr. Thomas and his son going in and out of the house, going to the dumpster close to the house. They also ran the credit card of the son, and they realized that he had bought a chainsaw and buy some industrial size garbage bag. And then when they did a check of the house for the BLOOD splatter, it came back as a positive match for Mr. Miller. It identified as that of the BLOOD of Mr. Miller. It is said that the father, Everton, he then decided that he was going to cross the border, Canada to be specific. He was on the run. The wife and the son was caught somewhere close to New Jersey in the same vicinity. They were taken in for questioning, taken into custody. The husband then decided that he's going to take himself back and surrender to the police. So now all three are in custody. Now, people, here's my take on the whole thing. As a man, or even as a woman, you as a woman, it is good when you have loyalty. It is good when you have the backing of your family, whether it is your wife or your husband. However, whenever you as a criminal are done something wrong, now people, I don't know exactly what took place and I don't want to speculate. Obviously, there was some sort of disagreement. Was it a disagreement that took place while they were playing card, or was there something that happened afterwards? The normal family, such as my family, if there was an argument, it is not going to end up that me joke or any of my family member, and you can't swear for people, but I am willing to swear for my family. Hurt somebody, take away somebody. And even if we take away somebody, it would have more than likely been in a self-defense. So therefore, it would have been justified. However, I don't know any family member that would see me take away somebody unjustly, even in my house, and then decide that they are going to cover it up. I can almost swear that if I did something criminal, my mother specifically would say, "Nah, man, you have to go turn in yourself. What the FUCK are you doing?" And my mother don't swear, but I am just giving you how she would probably react. She would be shocked and she would condemn my deeds. However, in this case, we realize that whomever took away this man, because obviously there is BLOOD splatter, there is chainsaw buying, there is all sorts of videos of bags or industrial size garbage bags going in and out from the house to the garbage bin. So therefore, more than likely, they dismembered the body. Now, the body was not found, but that is the theory that the police have come up with based on the BLOOD splatter. So I'm saying to myself, then hold on a minute. Whatever happened, whatever the circumstance that this man lost his life, the wife is going to cover up, and then the son is going to cover up. So it seems as if this family must be some sort of serial KILLER family, because I do not think that three persons would just act simultaneously and cover up for each other. And people, I understand that is what family do, but whenever you are wrong, you cannot be wrong and strong, especially when somebody lose their life. And I say this to say that if that person had lost his life under self-defense, meaning that he did something to one of the family members and then they decided that they are going to take him out to defend themselves or defend his or her family. Now, people, at the end of the day, I do not know what went on. However, whenever you try to hide something that you did in the extent of dismembering that person's BODY, throw them in a garbage bag and dispose of them, it tells you that more than likely you are guilty. Or even if this was self-defense and that is the way that you handle it, more than likely you are going to be convicted, meaning all three family members, meaning the husband, the wife, and the son, and justifiably so, point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news is based off the video that you see playing on the screen, in which there was a big tussle, a big fight in front of Spanish Town Hospital between a guard and a man, an individual. Now, people, I don't know what was the motive, who initiated it, who started it. However, what I saw was that there was a brawl in which a security guard was in an argument with a man. There was a tussle. The man had the upper hand and pretty much lift up the security guard and slammed him. That was when the other security guards that work on the premises intervened and took the side of their co-worker, and justifiably so. It kind of went on for about 4 minutes or so, and then the video cut, obviously it had to stop somewhere. However, my advice to the security guards is this. Whenever you are working as a security guard, and this appropriately applies also to taximan, minibusman, and you're working at a specific location, I am not going to say you're not supposed to defend your job, defend your person, or even defend your coworker. But always remember, whenever you are at a set location, you are like a sitting duck. And even if that person that you was in an argument with was DEAD wrong, and you defended yourself and you gave him a royal beatdown, or you got a royal beatdown, just remember, you cannot be caught slipping, you cannot be caught lapsing, because if that person is a dangerous individual and that person have dangerous friends that are willing not even to listen to the story whether he was right or wrong, would defend him by any means necessary, your life will be in jeopardy. So therefore, when you pick up certain jobs, and certain jobs come with certain responsibility, you're not going to let persons violate the place, violate you. However, you should know, you should be mindful that there are repercussions for everything. That is why the wise people say, for every action is an equal and opposite reaction. So I say this to say that the reaction that you might get is dependent on that person. Is that person serious enough to defend themselves or come back for the reprisal? And you know, reprisal can be taken to the furthest extent. So I just say, be careful what you do. Don't start no ish, won't be no ish. Point blank and period.